assume you are. Yeah. Usually when someone says, "Did you catch the game last night?" they're talking about football or baseball or something along those lines. But for me and my friends, when they say, "Did you catch the game last night?" they're usually saying, "Did you catch the round last night?" and they're talking strictly about golf. I've been playing golf my entire life, and I've been studying the swing, and I've had numerous swing coaches that have taught me how to perfect my swing over the years. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the golf swing and the three main parts of it, starting with the backswing, next the impact zone, and then finally the follow-through. Starting at the backswing, everything starts with the setup. And according to Golf Digest magazine, the first step to a good swing is making sure you're aligned to the target. So as you can see in the left photo, or in the photos altogether, that's me. I took photos of myself, so I'll be the testing subject today. And I drew some lines on myself. As you can see, the very setup on the left photo, there's a triangle between my chest and my hands, and my legs are shoulder width apart, and there's a little bit of space between my hands and my body, which is very important. It's really important to have a good setup that you're lined up to the target. And the next step is having the takeaway. The takeaway, the photo I took is the club is 90 degrees to the ground, it's square to the ground, and according to Golf Link magazine, this is the most important part of the golf swing because if you don't get it right, it's going to mess up the rest of your swing, and you're going to have problems with everything at the top and getting back to the ball square. What you want is to be at the ball square so the ball goes straight. So the triangle is still maintained between my chest and my hands, and there's good spacing between my hips and my hands, which is really important, and the weight is starting to transfer onto my back foot, which weight transfer is something that is needed to get a lot of power behind the ball. The next step is almost full, but there's a lot of squares between my armpit and the actual golf club. So when you're at this point in the golf swing, it's where the swing becomes really compact, and a lot of amateurs struggle with this aspect because they get really big and wide. So it's important to have this part of the swing really compact, so it's really, really close, and that way you can come through the ball square, like I said before. And now this is at the very top of my swing, and nearly all of my weight is transferred onto my back foot, which is where all the power will be springing from in the downswing. And according to, as said in Golf Tips magazine, through the impact, 80 to 95% of your weight needs to be starting to transfer onto your front foot. So as you'll see in the next photo, I'm back down in front, and my weight is starting to transfer onto my front foot, which is where all the power comes from. And you can see that my elbow is digging into my side, which is really important because it also helps with that compactness within the swing. And at this point in the swing, there are two different ways that you can approach. A lot of pros get really good at controlling the ball and hitting a draw or hitting a fade, just the direction of the ball. So coming in on the left photo, you can see that the club is inside of my hand, and this can be shown in this example. So if I'm coming through and the club's inside, the club path is going to be going this way, and it's going to cause the ball to spin this way, which causes it a drop, which a lot of pros like because it's really controllable. But as a right photo, the club is coming in a little more outside, and the club is going to spin the ball this way, and it's going to cause a little bit of a fade, or they call it a slice too. And usually amateurs tend to the right photo because that's what the baseball swing is taught. That's how the baseball swing usually happens. So coming in this way causes a huge fade or a huge slice. So it's really, really hard to get to be where you want on that left photo, but it's also important to be able to know how to switch back between the two to control the ball the way you want it to. Now at the impact zone, there was one article by the Journal of Sports and Science, and they did a study where 100 golfers hit 10 shots, and the best of their 5 shots were taken. And the higher velocity at impact was found for people who had really big, really good hip rotation and torso rotation, which is also really important. So throughout the swing, it's most of the velocity comes from your hips and your shoulders. And at impact zone, it's almost exactly like the setup, except for my weight is starting to transfer a little bit forward, and the shaft is leaned forward too, which is how you get a lot of compression on the ball. And compression on the ball is how the golfers get some spin, and the grooves of the actual club hit the ball and spin it certain ways. And that's how sometimes you see the ball landing on the green and spinning backwards, which is something that's really hard to get. And as you can see in the next photo, this is a really close-up of the impact zone. And the top photo is the club hitting the ball first, and then the divot happens after the ball has happened. So that's hitting down into the ground and getting that ball really compressed and getting a lot of spin and control also on the ball. As said in Golf Week magazine, you want to hit down on the ball, and you don't want to be afraid of it, afraid to hit down on the ball. A lot of amateur golfers will come and top the ball, or top the ball meaning that the club comes and hits only the top of it. And it's a misunderstanding that you want to scoop up the ball, but it's important to come down and hit down on the ball to get it really compressed and spinning the right way. Coming to the through swing, this is not as important as the other aspects of the golf swing, because it's simply your body just unwinding, and you've already hit the ball, so it doesn't matter what you do after. But it's also important because if you have a bad through swing, you likely did things wrong in the backswing. So 80 to 90% of the swing happens in the backswing. And finally, finishes off at the very top with a really high finish, which just looks good for the audience. Yeah. And this was a video, but it's not going to play. So I hope today, my goal today was to show you guys what the golf swing is like, and that there's so many things that happen in it. And you don't realize how hard golf actually is. So my hope today was to show you guys this, and that you can have a little bit more of an appreciation, and maybe you won't enjoy watching golf still, but at least when you do watch it, you'll see other people swing, and you'll be able to understand a little bit more about it.